Okay. So let me introduce myself. My name is CC. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Should I say my name or?
Yeah. What is your
All
name,
right.
sir?
All right. So my name is Tyler, and I go by PrinceVortex or Tylo Vortex in the speedrunning community.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen both. I think on speedrun.com you're Tylo, and
Yep.
everywhere else you're Prince.
Yeah, I kind of use both interchangeably, just to confuse people.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, keep them on their toes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I guess let's go ahead and get started. So, when did you first start running Ratchet and Clank?
Oh, that's a great question. So it was like my freshman year of high school. So I think it was around like 2012.
Okay.
I pretty much was watching I think it was an AGDQ. I think it was MoFat was doing a was it Twilight Princess run that inspired me to get into speedrunning.
Mhm.
And then I basically was like, oh, I got to try this. And I looked through all of my games, and Ratchet and Clank was like the only game I had that I was like, all right, this looks like an interesting speedrun. So immediately I started looking on YouTube for runs, and I found Cypress, we call him Sippy. I found his channel, and I was like, yo, dude, teach me how to do this. I really want to learn. And he was like, all right, I'm going to send you to my boy Nuka, because apparently Sippy just taught someone how to run this game like about a month earlier or prior to this. And then that person like dipped after a month. So he didn't want to deal with that again. So he sent me to another player named Nuka. And Nuka sort of gave me all of the tools to adequately learn the route and just start doing runs.
Nice. Okay. Well, I guess that really kind of ties into. I was going to say, tell me more about Nuka.
Yeah. So Nuka, Devin, he is a funny character. I really admire him as a person. He's brutally honest with you, but in a good way. And he was really helpful on doing stuff because he wouldn't sugarcoat things. If I was trying to learn something or trying to learn a trick, I would ask him like how to do it, and he'd just be like, dude, you're just being stupid about this. Just do it this way. Just watch me. Sometimes he would stream and show me strats or just like point out stuff while he was streaming. That would help me because a lot of the time, back when I started learning Ratchet and Clank, the community wasn't really a practice community. It was more of just like, let's do runs to see how good we can get. Let's just not like practice and like practice doing shortcuts. It was a lot of movement, like a lot of based on just how good your movement was and how you could edit your movement throughout the run. So a lot of the times we would just like watch other people run and be like, oh, that was really nice. Like, check out this, watch the way I do this. And Nuka would be really helpful in that aspect. Me and Nuka would be really good, became really good friends after learning this game. We would do a bunch of races too that were a lot of crazy matches, but a lot of fun.
All right. So let's see here. So that was around 2012, probably 2013-ish, because I think Nuka and Cypress are really prominent in 2013 or 2014. I don't know. It's around that time.
Yeah. I would say by the end, so yeah, by like 2016, I was pretty much done with Ratchet and Clank, like competitively. So within the 4-year span, I learned the game, was able to hold my own for a little bit, and then I started phasing out.
I gotcha.
Around my time was when the PS3 became a big part of the game too, because I started learning on the PS2, and then about a year in, that we found out like the PS3 was faster, and it was a lot of fun when that happened because people are so stubborn to like change. So like originally when we found the PS3 was faster, we were just like, oh, what should we do? Should we make like 2 separate leaderboards? Should we like change it? Should we keep it? And there's just like a lot of debate between that whole toboggle.
So I guess it eventually turned out that you guys would have a combined leaderboard, right?
Yeah. We ended up combined leaderboard. I just think it was hard for like me, I think, to make any like rash decisions or say anything because I think I was like in the lead at the time when this was all happening. I was one of the first like I was like top like one or two with or top three with like PS2 times. And then when I started using the PS3 and started getting world records, so it was just like it's kind of weird like when you're like have like the top time or one of the top times being like, oh, I think we should keep it the same or I think we should change it because like it just kind of like takes away from like it sort of can feel like self-conscious almost.
Yeah, no, you have like a vested interest in it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, of course you want PS3 to be in so you can keep your world records.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been in leaderboard disputes, and the world record holder is like, no, we should ban the other one because that would mean that I don't have world record anymore. I'm like, okay, that's really scummy.
Yeah, no, it's a really hard position, like, because like in the end, you want to keep your world records, but also like you care about the Ratchet and Clank, like or like just that game's community, because it was like a really great community when I started. It was really small too, so everyone kind of knew each other and everyone kind of supported each other. Where now I feel like it's grown so much, and it's really awesome to see how many people have invested time into the game and really looked for strats to improve it.
Yeah. About how many people do you think were in there sort of in the 2013, 2014 era?
Oh, I would say like about like maybe like 20, 25 invested runners. Like Ticeman was sort of in, but he was kind of phased out already. But yeah, there was a good amount of people. Like no, a good handful, not a good amount. Like yeah, I would say around like 20. Because I remember who do I remember? Me, Nuka, SL, Insomniac, Ricky and Zem came a little later. Who else?
Was Senna around?
Senna was not around at this time. Okay. Senna came around like right after I got out of the game.
Okay, I'm gonna guess Clippy was around.
Clippy was definitely around. Yeah, Clippy was around.
It's a name I've heard.
Yep. Fernando, he was around. Raikaru.
Yeah.
Me and Raikaru would go back and forth all the time. Funny stories.
I heard there was a bit of a rivalry.
Yes, I would say me and Raikaru would have a bit of a rivalry. I don't know how it started, but it was most likely just like I'm just gonna put all of my change in the pot to beat you, and whatever you do. So like whenever like he would get like a world record time in like the NG Plus, which I was focusing on, it'd be like I would just put down everything I was doing at the time and just play the game until I beat him. And sometimes it would take like a couple of days. Sometimes it would take like 4 hours, and it'd just be like wicked late at night, and I ended up like beating him. But it was a lot of fun, just like trying to like stop him from like having the world record, just like petty things like a freshman in high school would do. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
classic gamer beef.
Yeah,
like, dude, I can totally beat you right now. I'm like, dude, no, you can't. And then you beat him. And like, okay, well. Was he kind of the same way with you? I guess.
I think so.
Like anytime you got a record, he would try to beat it.
He for the most part, yeah. I think we both did have like breaks here and there because of school, but yeah, for the most part, it was really like a back and forth sort of rivalry.
Okay. I think Slaughter was around at this time, right?
Yep, Slaughter was around. Slaughter is an incredible movement like player. He didn't really like he did runs every now and then, and like he still kind of does now, or he kind of doesn't play the game, but like a couple years ago, he's incredible at finding good movement and also is a really good strat hunter. He's a very good thinker. So when it comes to thinking about how the game is built and how the levels are laid out, he'll be like, "Oh, I think I can do this," and like just like in like a matter of like an hour of just trying these different things, he'd be able to actually make that work. So like when optimizing the game and optimizing movement, he would be like one of the top people to come of that.
Nice. Yeah, what's his name? Slaughter has described to me that sort of era, that like 2014 to 2016 era, as the freestyle era.
Oh, 100%.
I think in his words, it was the skateboard era.
Yeah, that is when you would say. We really, like, the community itself really didn't practice at all. It was just like you do runs and you sort of get used to movement and you just keep on doing that motion over and over again until it kind of sticks. I would really say like new school running with like Maxis and started by like Ricky and Zem. Like those people would grind out practice and like then do runs, and you could just see how much better that like kind of strat is. Like it does make a difference when you play the game. You're just able to land all of the strats consistently because like movement is awesome, and you can make up so much time off having better movement than someone else. But at the end of the day, if you're not hitting like shortcuts like first try every time, you're just gonna end up losing out. And then eventually, when like Ricky and Zem and Maxis and all these people started to actually get close to your movement, like you just sort of get phased out altogether.
Yeah, that's how it goes, man.
That is how it goes.
Yeah.
But it's really cool watching the game develop that way, as watching like, because you're always like, back then I was just like, it's like you can do all the tricks and I can do all the movements, so let's just put those two together and just make something special. And so you like the community is so friendly that we'd always try to help each other out. It's like whenever we'd see something that didn't look too right, but the players sort of did consistently, we'd just like shoot them a message like, hey, I noticed you do this, but like if you like do 2 long jumps and then like a side flip here, it'll set you up perfectly for like doing an SI at this certain spot. So
nice.
Like okay. I remember when Zem did his all gold bolt run at was it AGDQ or SGDQ?
One of those.
Yeah, I remember I talked to him a lot about just like helping a little movement tech here and there, and like so did other people. So we tried to make the run as special as possible for when he would do it in front of an audience of thousands.
Yeah, not just thousands, like about a couple hundred thousand.
Yeah.
Do you think that the GDQ runs, because there's been like 3 or something like that?
Yeah, I would say 3 or 4. No,
do you think those have been like big significant milestones for the community, or?
Oh, I would say they've been huge. I think anytime you're putting a game like this on like a big screen in front of hundreds of thousands of people, like you're going to improve the look of the game overall and encourage other people to at least dive into like the history of the game or look into the speedrunning culture of the game.
Right.
Because like Ratchet, like especially like I feel like we have a lot of talented streamers in the Ratchet Clank community. Like with just like I like watching a lot of Ratchet Clank series because they're very chill vibes and they're always very like easygoing and honest. So like if you watch like a Zem stream, if you watch like a Ricky stream, if you watch like a Maxis stream, like everyone like everyone's just so friendly and chill that it's sort of like hard not to love anyone in the community.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that really like when you put that in front of like an audience and you have like great commentary with like a very interesting but like also like kind of confusing run because you do a lot of weird shortcut breaks in the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a combination for people to get drawn in.
No, absolutely. Okay. Let's see. I wanted to ask, so as the PS3 started sort of mainly becoming like the big thing, Nuka I think I heard that Nuka didn't get a PS3 until like last year or something.
Yeah, I think another player in the community named Fern, I'm not sure, he bought him a PS3 and sent it to him. That's how crazy it is. I'm not sure Nuka was literally like, I'm not sure if he was just being petty about it, like getting a PS3 or something. Like there's like he was just putting his foot down on buying one. Like he just did not want to get one. Like he did not want to like maybe it was he was like honestly just starting to get done with the game, and just if he knew that, he sort of committing to playing the game more. So I think it was funny that someone else like got him a PS3 and sent it to him. Like, it's just very. It just shows you what kind of character Nuka was.
That is funny.
Yeah.
But he would still run on PS2, and even though the record was like a 29-minute time, Nuka got, I think, a run. It was like a 30:28. That everyone's like, that's amazing.
Yeah, that was probably one of the best moving times. Like movement-wise, it was one of the best runs, and also like he hit a lot of the tricks pretty consistently in that run. I think there's only a few planets that he really just like messed up on. But like even for like what we talked about, like as Slaughter would call it, like the skateboard era, like only messing up a few planets in a run is like really extraordinary. Like, so.
Yeah, like 80-90% of it was clean, and then.
Yeah, so like when someone like Nuka or like Sippy would do a run like that, it's like you just knew it was a good time. Like all the pieces aligned.
Okay. So you, as someone who's played on both PS2 and PS3, what are some of the big differences between the two consoles?
Yeah, so when we were looking at PS2 and PS3, I think with a big difference is load times. That makes a huge difference on the overall time of the game. But also, I think the PS3 plays a little bit heavier, whereas the PS2 was a little bit like more smooth. Like it took a little bit to get used to it, but once you like played more on the PS3, you kind of got used to like the movement, and you sort of could feel it out just the same as you could the PS2. I would say the biggest difference would be clipping. So there's something in the game called the decoy clips, where you use an item called the decoy. You place it at your feet, and you move through solid walls. And that was very challenging on the PS3. I remember on PS2 it was free. You literally just looked at a wall, like clicked twice to the left, press circle, or and you just threw a decoy down and walked through that wall easily. But on PS3, it kind of turned into like, depending on what wall you were at, you had a different setup each time, and it was really hard at first for a lot of players switching over, because everyone kind of needed to find, like, you couldn't, like, you tried sharing your setups with other players, but like other players kind of needed to find their own way to do the clips in order to like make them work. And like if you watch like just like 3 or 4 runs, like if you watch like what is it, like the 4th planet of like, or the 4th or 5th planet of the run, Blarg. Is it Blarg? Yeah, Blarg.
Or do you mean Eudora?
No, Blarg, because you have the clip into the info bot there, where you take the little hover ship to the other spaceship, and then you clip through the wall. And if you watch like 3 runs from like just when the PS3 started to happen and people are doing more runs, I would say everyone's clip was different there, and it just shows you how everyone kind of need to have their own style at the game. I think I was one of the more riskier clippers on that planet, where other people would try to do like this whole elaborate setup. I was more of just like, let's YOLO this and jump at the wall and do it. Like, but
there you go.
It was fun. It was fun.
Okay, so his clipping was a big one, and loads were another big one. Anything else?
I would say those are like the 2 big things that like stand out to me. Yeah.
I think Pyrocitor glitch was on there.
Oh yeah, you're right. You couldn't do Pyrocitor glitch on PS2.
Yeah, I thought that was a PS3 exclusive.
Yeah, it was, and it had to be a European copy.
It's weird how that works, but yeah,
it is. It's all a setup. No.
Which is really strange because, well, not, I would say strange. It's really convenient, I guess, would probably be the best way to put it, because apparently the Ratchet and Clank community is like a majority is like European.
Yeah, I would say like 50% or a little over 50% is European.
Yeah.
Like
I wonder if there's a lot of other communities like that.
there probably is if you dive down deep, like especially to like communities that are so niche like Ratchet and Clank. Like I would not say Ratchet and Clank is a popular game, especially for speedrunning. Like there's still games that have a lot bigger audiences, but
true, but I don't know. Ratchet and Clank was a big franchise.
Or
do you mean just the first game?
I would say no. I would say it's a big franchise, but like as in terms of speedrunning, it had a really slow history. I would say of people
That's
running
true.
it.
It really did. Okay.
Because like there definitely are people who grew up with the games and really love them.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I found that's really interesting is, as far back as 2004, we see people on Speed Demos Archive like want to talk. They're talking about Ratchet and Clank speedruns, but nobody even does one until like 2007. And because of an SDA rule, they actually can't do New Game Plus until they finish an any percent run, and any percent is like way harder than New Game Plus, especially back then at least.
Yep, you had a bunch of Clanks. You had a bunch of Clank sections. You're talking about fighting. What was it? Drek at the end. I want to call him Drake so bad. Oh my god! history coming back. I would always like. I could never. I would always say like wrong names and stuff.
Oh.
So, like, just almost like for like the jokes. But yeah, fighting Drek was so much harder on any percent, especially without the pyroster glitch. That like kind of like saved any percent almost. That and a few other things.
Yeah. So because any percent had to be done first, it just like it took forever for anyone to even get around to it. And then when someone finally did do it, then people had already moved on and they didn't really care about New Game Plus for a while. So
yeah.
Oh well, it's a shame. Speaking of
that is a shame. Yep.
Were you around when Draxcape was found?
No. Maybe I did like one or two all gold bolts runs afterwards. But I was not around when Ricky sort of found that. I think Ricky sort of took over like around when I was done practicing, or like not done practicing, but done playing the game. And just putting a lot of effort in. And then I sort of just like would watch Ricky and like became more of a fan of Ricky because like what Ricky was doing was like so amazing. He is one of the most talented gamers I have ever seen. Like as far as like he picks up games so fast and he just puts like all of his heart into them, and you can just tell like how good of a player he is by the like just all the incredible times he's able to set in such a short amount of time.
He's definitely talented. I've seen him play a lot of different games at a very high level. It's like, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, no, he's a monster, and in a good way. Like, yeah, love him to death.
Do you know anything about Ricky and why he came back in 2016? Apparently, he used to run the game in like 2013 with Cypress for a little bit, but then he came back in 2016, and now he's like a world record holder in a lot of in 2016 he got the world record a couple times. I say a couple times, many times.
Yeah, many times. He brought the game from like a 26 to like sub 20, I think, back in the day, which is crazy. Because I think I stopped at like a 29 or like a high 28. But
yes,
Ricky, I don't exactly know why he came back. Maybe just like he definitely plays like he'll only play games if he's really feeling it in the moment. So maybe just like he was just inspired by other people playing the game, and maybe just getting questioned by other people that if he'll ever come back, that he wanted to see and test it out to see how it goes. And he ended up liking the game enough to keep on pushing it. But I don't exactly know what was the reason that turned him to come back.
Okay. I can ask him again because I feel like I don't remember if I asked him that in the first place or what. So I think Slaughter said something like at AGDQ 2016, someone taught him how to do the infinite long jumps.
That,
and then when he go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, no. I remember he got really frustrated when that trick came out, and I actually did too. A lot of runners did, but because that trick was super hard, it was probably one of the hardest tricks in the run, in my opinion. Just because the amount of technical input you had to put, and I couldn't do it because of my wrist. Like if I tried it, my wrist would kill after a long time. Because like I have like tendonitis in my wrist from playing Mario Kart too much as a kid.
Right.
Yeah, because I played Mario Kart competitively before I went to Ratchet and Clank.
Gotcha.
But so that was one of the tricks that knocked me out. I remember, but like Ricky really struggled with doing the like Senna flips and stuff like that. So when someone actually taught him how to do it, it definitely could have inspired him to get back into the category and see how far he could really push the game.
Okay, I'll double check with them because that's probably a big portion of it.
Yeah.
So, okay. I was going to ask you one more thing. Yeah, how do ILJs work exactly? So there's like a texture, like a mud or water or something.
Yeah. So ILJs were invented by Devin. I'm not sure if it was in a race that we had or if we were just like fooling around in the game, or like he was just fooling around in the game and I just happened to, or I don't know. It was he was just on Umbrus, which has that muddy sort of texture, and he was just like pressing buttons, and he just found this really just like game changing glitch, the ILJs. And basically, like, what is like your lawn jumping like side to side or like side flipping side to side, and it's just carrying your momentum at speeds that are crazy over like a long distance. And I think it was inspired like because like before ILJs was like infinite side flips where like you can look on like was it Hoven? Yeah, Hoven was one of the places you could do it, and also Umbrus. Umbrus were two places that you could just like it's not maybe side flip a backflip consistently up as high as you want. So I think the concept of that glitch was like maybe like you didn't have to backflip, but you could go forward with your movement. And like once you try that, you start like just changing the game.
There you go. Okay. I don't think I have any more questions for you.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you want to talk about that you think I should know or that I haven't asked you about?
Who have you talked to?
Gosh, I have talked to Cypress, Ricky, Zem, Slaughter, IN, Ticeman, Franz, Izaki, One Tabloid, and I think that's it.
So you pretty much talked to like the whole bunch of the community. That's awesome.
Yeah, I talked to really a majority of the chillest boys, if I'm not mistaken.
The chillest boys are great. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, we're just. Yeah. No, we're great.
Yeah. Hell yeah, you're great. That's right. Know your worth, King.
Yep. No. I would recommend watching. I know. One tabloid did like a world record history video. That could be really helpful.
I watched that one, the 2017 in review, right?
Yeah. I know that's a really good one. And also I would like. Yeah, no, I don't know. You could talk about, or you could think about, ask like, I guess like Cypress would know like the most, or like Cypress and Tyson would know the most about how the game has changed from movements, because like they had to do so many crazy SIs that were just like so hard compared to like what the game is now with all the how it's moved from like SIs and movement to like Whopper Tech and ILJs. So it's just interesting how the game's developed. But
yes,
yeah. No, I don't know. I think based off the questions you have a good idea of what's going on.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Talking to everybody has definitely given me a good perspective on like what's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
But it does help that I watched like 25 other runs. I just kind of went through history, and like every couple months I'd pick a run and then watch that.
Yeah.
So I have a good idea of how it kind of developed a little bit. As someone who I never really played a lot of Ratchet and Clank. I never owned a PlayStation, so I played the game like at cousins' houses and stuff and friends' houses, but I never like really sat down and really dug into it. So
yeah, I remember. I don't really remember like how I got into the game. I know one of my friends who actually got me into video games in general. She was a game tester for Deadlocked.
Interesting. Okay.
So I actually one of the first games I played was Deadlocked, and then when I got she's pretty much given me all of the game systems I've had.
Nice.
I think so she gave me a PS2 back in like late elementary school, and I got to play Ratchet and Clank there, and I don't think I ever beat it. I think I got all the way because like I have this history of playing games where I get all the way to the last level, and I'm just like I don't want to face the final boss. I want to start collecting, and then I just never beat the game because I just get too bored with it. Because so I remember like learning the game. I kind of had to go through and like sort of actually beat the game again, like back when I picked it up. But
I got you.
Yeah, that's how I got into the game. Or the history of me playing the game, at least. It's like Deadlock and then replaying Ratchet and Clank 1. I never really got into Ouya. I never actually played Ouya or Ratchet and Clank 2 at all growing up. It was just Ratchet and Clank 1. My first time playing Ratchet and Clank 3 was when I tried to like just speedrun it in like 2 months. And that didn't go so well.
I imagine not.
No, they're much different games.
Yeah,
and you need to practice to be good at them, and that was just something I just did not want to do.
That's fair. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you talking to me.
Yeah. Whatever I can do to help.
Absolutely.
If you have any more questions or want to talk some more, feel free to message me.
Yeah.
I'm finally done with all my traveling, so I'm a lot more approachable now.
Nice. All right, let me go ahead and end the recording here real quick.
Okay.